What's going on, guys? This is Charity here, and today I am bringing you the PPL Division 1 Season 3 Championship match. Now, you're probably wondering, but the PPL doesn't have playoffs. How is it a championship match? And basic reason is because the league table says so. I'm going to bring that up now just so you can see what I mean, but basically, based off differentials and scores and that kind of thing, the only way one of the members of this game does not win the championship is if I lose 1-0 and Sam wins 6-0, and then it goes to a tie on differential between Schady and Sam, and then I believe off head-to-head Sam wins, or something like that. I'm going to spoil the result of Sam's Week 11 match now, so if you haven't seen it, go watch that first, or just ignore this. In 3, 2, 1, Sam won 2-0. Meaning that this game determines the championship. Completely, 100%, wholeheartedly. So this has already been played. It was played live so that people could come along and watch and see quote-unquote live reactions from us in the chat and that kind of thing. But for people who didn't get to make that, or haven't seen the Showdown replay yet, or that kind of thing, because this match was on Showdown so that people could watch, this video is up here for you guys, because I'm great like that. Apologies about it being super duper late. I really didn't feel like recording for quite a while, because reasons. I got really busy, that kind of stuff. It happens. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, so I have to prioritize other things on top of this. If you don't want to see my team analysis, I am doing team analysis and battle in the same video, partly because I don't want this to be so late, so I'm trying to get it out and done with it. So if you want to look at the battle and ignore the team analysis, there will be an annotation on the screen somewhere over there, over that side. And there will also be a time link in the description if you're on your phone, that kind of thing. So you can skip ahead of that, but if you do want to know the team I'm bringing, do stick around. It's one of my favorites that I made, so yeah. Now, speaking of the team I'm bringing, let's look at our opponent's team. I highly recommend you go check him out. Links will be in the description, of course, to all the coaches, but Schady is our opponent for this week. He's one of the best battlers in the PPL. He's consistently been high up on the ladder. Like, I think last season he didn't have a great season, but he got a bit unlucky with hacks and had a bit of a rough draft, that kind of thing. He is one of the more consistent battlers in the league, basically. He's also a fantastic guy. I had a couple of collabs with him, actually, most of which are on my channel. I'm not actually sure if I've done any on his, but he mostly just does league format anyway. So, anyway, after all of that, I also recommend you go check out Titos, who made the thumbnail templates for this entire season, so thank you again one last time for that. Now, into the team. I'm just going to bring up Shady's team real quick, and you can see that he has Manaphy, Crobat, Klefki, Thundurus, Ruddigon, Seismitoad, Skuntank, Porygon 2, and Megalopony. Now, he did make a couple of transfers a few weeks ago, I think, where he dropped Aromatisse, Vanillux, and Girafarig, and picked up Klefki, which is way more of a problem for my team, because Klefki matches up actually quite well. It completely stops Latios because I can run HP 5 if it's a specially defensive set, it can chew that. I can't hit it with Dual Stab, but that doesn't just do any damage whatsoever. And if I run Earthquake, he can run Magnet Rise, that kind of thing. He can Toxic me, he can Rest, he can... Klefki is a problem. It's also a bit of a problem for Extra because I kind of am forced to run Iron Head, but also kind of not. But anyway. Looking at the team that I brought, I'm just going to give a bit of backstory here. I built like 5-6 teams for Schady. I kept trying different things. I kept trying things that, you know, relatively standard things that I thought would work. Tried to come up with a couple of creative sets, tried to do as much as I could to try and beat his team. I had literally every single one on a team at some point. I had so many attempts to make something good. I did practice battles. I prepped so hard for this battle. I put everything I had into winning this battle because it determined the championship, and I'm probably not going to get another season where I get a draft this good, so this is my best chance to take a championship. I got lucky against Sam, which might have just handed this to me. Schady got unlucky against Sam, which means that I'm ahead of both of them. It's just, everything has come together right this season, and I'm not going to let this chance slip away. So I put so much effort in team building, and in amongst all of that, I found one thing. And that one thing is that nothing I tried to bring beat Schady. Every single idea I had just got shut down by something on his team, and everything on his team had a decent matchup against me. There was always some way in which I couldn't actually beat him. All the practice battles I had bar one, I lost, and that was like, I had like 5 or 6. I lost every single one, most of them badly, except one against Evelyn, who said she was bringing a meme team at the start of the game. So I went into this battle basically assuming I was going to lose. But what that ended up making me do in team building was I went, okay, I'm trying lots of things to beat Schady and none of them are working. Let's just meme the living fuck out of him. So, on that note, the very first one I am bringing is Double Dance Thunderous with Leftovers. Prankster, so I can set up on things without being encored of, like, for Lopunny, by Lopunny, for example, that kind of stuff. Then Max Special Attack Modest, enough speed to outspeed a Choice Scarf Crobat at +2. It also outspeeds the speed investment I think he will be bringing on Thunder Ethereum, which is enough to outspeed my Excadrill. So basically this outspeeds Excadrill by 2 points, then running Modest and Agility, so I don't particularly need to speed anywhere else. Enough HP, the rest in HP to get an odd number, and then just 8 defense. I think I might have made it 4-4, I can't quite remember. That's possibly left over from when I had HP Ice at one point, but anyway. The moves of choice are Psychic, Thunderbolt, Agility, and Nasty Plot. A +2/+2 Thunderous is nothing to fuck around with. Even though he has, Mega Lopunny which can fake me out, I can basically force him to sack a lot of things if it gets to that point. And I'm running Psychic because he has 2 Electric Immunities in Seismitoad and Thunder Ethereum, and this is the best move I have to hit both of them neutrally, at least. It's the most powerful thing that hits both of them neutrally. Which is kind of shit, but, I'll manage. Then, I feel like this is fairly self-explanatory. Try and set up and win. Like, this is a huge win con. It basically sweeps him depending on what he brings, depending on what I've got chip damage on already, that kind of stuff. But you're probably looking at this and going, but Trav, those defensive stats are not great. How the fuck are you going to set up, especially on a team like a Klefki, which can Prankster Toxic you? Obviously I can't get TOH, but there's going to be Mega Lopunny, which does do huge damage. There's plenty of things which can do huge damage to you. Like, in his main walls, things like Porygon 2 could probably just run Ice Beam and take you out with no real problems. How the hell are you going to set up? And my answer to that, my friends, is the memeiest motherfucking Latios you have ever seen. Now, this Latios set, I've actually had a set similar to this in mind. I've had Reflect Memento Light Screen. I had that set in mind most of the team building process actually, but also since the start of the season. It was something I looked at for Latios. I realized he got those moves. I was like, I can bring this to just give a free setup to whatever mon I want. Then in practice battles, I was having trouble with Klefki constantly paralyzing or toxicking things depending on what I brought to set up, mostly toxic. And it was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to put Safeguard on there as well, just because triple screens is everything I need. I'm running the same speed investment, which is enough to outspeed my Excadrill by 2 points, with a max speed Jolly Excadrill by 2 points, which is an investment I'll be expecting him to bring on everything that I can outspeed, so that's Thunderous, Manaphy, etc. Dual screens, Safeguard, Memento, bring in Thunderous, click Agility, click Nasty Plot enough times until I can OHKO everything and outspeed everything. It's a tenuous plan. It's basically all or nothing. If it works, I win. There is absolutely nothing you can do if I get to that point. If it doesn't work, then I lose 2 months to pretty much nothing, and the rest of my team is kind of vulnerable to most of his team. So that's not great, but as I said, everything else I tried, vaguely normal sets, every crazy idea I had didn't work, so I was like, I'm just going to go with this one, and I'm just going to try for it. So yeah. The rest are in defense and HP, because I might as well live hits. I'm not going to be outspeeding anything anyway, so I was like, if I need to live like a friggin' return or something after a reflect, I don't know, I just put the EVs in there, they're not really that important. The main thing is the moveset and the speed, so I can outspeed everything that isn't Scarfed and isn't called Crobat or Mega Lopunny, or something else, I think. No, I think it's just Crobat and Mega Lop. So yeah, that's the thing. Next one on the team is Life Orb, Sandrush, Excadrill, because this thing is good against pretty much every team. I then have SD, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Toxic. Swords Dance and Toxic are there because of the Porygon 2. Rock Slide and Earthquake because that hits the rest of his team like really, really well. If he brings Magnet Rise, Porygon 2, If he brings Magnerise, probably going to. If he brings Magnerise Klefki, that's a bit of a problem, but I'm guessing Klefki is going to be more of an answer to Latios. May not be carrying Magnerise, I can't deal with it that way. SD is basically if I predict him to switch into P2, I can then smack it up with a +2 Earthquake, that is a lot. Speed investment is enough to outspeed everything at +2, as per usual, and the rest in HP, max attack, adamant, fairly self-explanatory, Excadrill. I think this also outspeeds, because that's more than enough than I need to outspeed everything at +2. I think it also outspeeds an invested something or other. Possibly Skuntank? Not 100% sure. I built this team a while ago. I think it was the same thing I was doing with the other ones. Speed creep, the investment I expected him to bring on Skuntank or something like that. Something a bit esoteric, but I decided to be ballsy and go for really specific speed creeps this match. Now, next, if I'm bringing Sandrush Excadrill, you know what the next one has to be. It has to be my Tyranitar. And I'm bringing a very, very specific Tyranitar set. Superpower, Rock Slide, Taunt, and Stealth Rock with the Chopper Berry, and a fuck ton of EVs all over the place. That's how I'm going to put it. Basically, this investment means I can live a Focus Blast in the sand from a Specs Thunderous Therian, I believe. I can also live a Superpower from an Expert Belt Thunderous Therian with some attack investment, the amount that he would have left over after speed creeping. I can also live a Drain Punch from Mega Lopunny, an Adamant Mega Lopunny. I cannot live a High Jump Kick, but I can live a Drain Punch. I probably can't live a Low Kick either, because Tyranitar is really heavy, but if he does bring Drain Punch, I can live one. Superpower does a shit ton of damage. After Sand, I believe it's a chance to Oko. Rock Slide is a guaranteed Oko on Thunderous if he's not bringing like Charter Berry or something like that, I think. And then Taunt and Stealth Rocks. Taunt is for Porygon 2. Also for Klefki switch in, I can taunt it, stop it doing nasty Klefki shenanigans, that kind of thing. Stealth Rocks because I want Rocks up to help weaken them for, you know, Excadrill or mainly Thunderous, really. The speed investment I am running is in case P2 tries to speed creep me. The rest of the investment is to try and live those hits that I talked about. And then for an attack, because I had 4 leftover EVs, and that's how these things work. So yeah, very, very, very specific Tyranitar set this week. I put so much time into getting this one as good as it could be to take the hits that I needed it to. Obviously, Chopper Berry might not pay off, but it means that I can just lead with this thing, stay in against like a Thunderous, for example, and go for Stealth Rock. Next one on the team. This is my pretty much dedicated Mega Lopunny check. This thing beats Mega Lopunny, any variant, really. Rocky Helmet Regenerator with Psychic, Slack Off, Grass Knot, and Ice Beam. Grass Knot is there to hit Seismitoad. Ice Beam is there to hit Thunderous. Psychic does more damage than any coverage move I could bring to Manaphy. Anyway, it also hits Lopunny super hard. Slack Off because I might need to recover more than Regenerator gives me. And Rocky Helmet because I wanted to dissuade him from going for Fake Out on my fast ones. I can switch in, take hits on that quite easily. This also helps deal with Crobat. If he brings Banded Brave Bat, he'll be taking a lot of recoil damage. Druddigon's similar, I can just Skull Burn it or Ice Beam it if I feel like it. I don't really want to take hits from Skuntank, but like it can take a couple, maybe. And if he brings physical coverage moves on Klefki rather than special coverage moves, then this deals with it really well. So yeah, standard, physically defensive, Rocky Helmet, Slowbro. Not much to talk about. The only like vaguely interesting thing is Grass Knot, but like it's league format, you expect that kind of coverage. Also, one quick thing, I am running 0 RVs and attack on everything. That's because Klefki gets foul play, and I don't want to be taking those hits as hard as I need to. I'm fairly sure this should be 0. That should be 0. That was 0 in the match. I definitely remember it being 0. Showdown does weird things with my teams when we save like 50 billion. Anyway, so that was the Slowbro set. Last and not least, it's probably least, let's be honest, is Tangrowth. I'm bringing Assault Vest, mostly specially defensive with a little bit of attack investment Tangrowth, with Knockoff, Power Whip, Rock Slide, and Brick Break. So the attack investment is there, I believe, to guarantee that Brick Break like 2-hit KOs Mega Lopunny or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's for now, actually. It's Power Whip, that's right. The attack investment is so that Power Whip is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on a physically defensive Manaphy. So if he brings the Calm Mind Rest Hydration set, I can still 2-hit KO with Power Whip. If he brings the Tail Glow set, from full I can take maybe a +3 Ice Beam if he's timid, I think. I can have to take a Signal Beam, which he may be bringing because it hits both Slowbro and Tangrowth and Latios and Tyranitar. Bug offense is generally pretty decent against me. Then the other moves, knock off, because if he's bad I can knock off P2's Violite. If he's good, I'll knock off other items anyway. Rock Slide mainly for Thunder Ethereum, because this thing is also my main check to that thing. If it's not like Specs, HP Ice, or Sludge Wave, I can take those hits. And Brick Break is just to hit Lopunny, because this thing can still take 2 returns, because it is a monster on the physical side. So, as you might be able to tell from the team, a lot of specific EV spreads, a lot of investment here and there, a lot of very precise movesets to try and take on everything as best as I can, but I'm still going to struggle with everything on his team because it's Schady and his team is good. So I basically have to try and meme him. That's it. So I will see you back with the battle. Okay, this is the battle. The fucking championship game. Jesus Christ, there was so much pressure on this game. I was freaking out for like a week. It was terrible. It was also great, but terrible. Now, looking at the team Schady has brought, there is no Mega Lopunny. This is good, because it means no Fake Out to stop Thundurus. There is also no Seismitoad. This is also good, because a bulky-ish Seismitoad, like all it needed was a bit of HP investment, it could take a +2 Psychic. I almost ran Twisted Spoon on Thundurus for that, but then figured I could probably get to +4 with like screens and safeguard and shit if I really needed to. But now I don't need to. Now I only need +2, probably a little bit of chip damage on Druddigon, a little bit of chip damage on Porygon, and that's it. Everything else just dies. So, with that in mind, looking at his team, I figure he may lead Klefki, but I feel like he's going to want Klefki to be a switch-in. Druddigon, I think he's going to be there for Emboar, and I didn't bring Emboar, so I'm expecting to lead with Druddigon because it's his least useful one. I also want to lead with Tyranitar and get off my Stealth Rocks nice and early, because his Defogger is Crobat. If I can force that to defog, that's fine. I can take advantage of that in other ways. If it's not a Defogger, then Rock's Drop to stay, and that's really good damage on most of his team. So, let's get right into this battle. I'm going to leave it on slow, because I need to talk through things. Lead off with Tyranitar. Set up the sand, and he brings in his Druddigon. Now, first turn, I decided to click Taunt in case he wants to go for his own rocks, and he actually decides to go for the Toxic here, I believe. Just gonna wait for it to, yeah, goes for the Toxic. It's a good move bringing Taunt. Now here, I can set up my rocks, so I've got a tiny bit of damage on this thing. I'm just gonna get rocks up. He decides to stay in. I don't think there's much he can do to me. He just goes for the Dragon Tail to get me out of there. It does a surprisingly large chunk of damage, considering I'm a very bulky Tyranitar, and brings me out into Excadrill, and I'm like, that was not the thing I wanted to be brought out into. So I'm going to hard switch out into my Slowbro, just because I don't want to be taking an Earthquake with Excadrill. I can't kill it from that range. I need a bit more damage on this Druddigon. So he's going to take the sand damage again, and Taunt is going to wear off this turn. Now here, I get my first little bit of luck. He misses, he goes for Stealth Rock. I'm ahead of myself, I'm sorry. I just go for Scald. I'm fishing for a burn, and I don't get it. Burn would have been really nice, partly because it means this thing can no longer do damage to pretty much anything on my team, and just for the extra chip damage that I need. But at this point, it's at range to die from a +2 Psychic from Thundurus, so that's fine. He misses a Toxic here, so I just go for another Scald Burn. Bring him down to below half, and Sandstorm subsides. So I've got good chip damage, Regenerate's going to bring me back up to full, so I decided to switch out, predicting another Toxic, and go into my Excadrill, because now he's at the range where Earthquake kills. He goes for Toxic and misses, but that one doesn't matter because I'm an Excadrill. Here, I just click Earthquake. He doesn't really have a great switch in, and you can switch in Thundurus, but then, you know, he's risking a Rock Slide prediction, that kind of thing, and Druddigon just goes down. That crit did not matter, that was guaranteed to kill anyway. He brings in the P2, and I look at my team and I'm like, I need Thundurus to sweep. That's my only way out of this game. I'm just going to go for Toxic to just to try and wear him down. He goes for Foul Play, that does a huge amount of damage, and I decided I'm going to keep Excadrill just in case I get sand up late, I can still potentially sweep him. And I go into my Tangrowth, hoping I can knock him off, as I believe he just goes for a cover in case I want to try and Earthquake him, gets stuff up to a decent amount of health. With the Toxic damage, he's back down to, you know, Rocks damage again, And so switching out, he's going to be quite worn down when he comes back in. I went for the safe play and just clicked knock off because nothing on his team wants to lose that item. He goes into Klefki and knock off its Sugar Berry, which is interesting because that means he's probably not Magnet Rise, because Magnet Rise Sugar Berry would be weird. Which means I brought the right XP set. Here, I go into my Slyroh basically deeming it less useful than Tangrowth, because this thing was brought for Megalopony, Tangrowth was brought for Nanophy, Thundurus, things of that nature, the things he did actually bring. So Slyroh is looking kind of useless here. I mean, it's nice for Crobat, but other than that, doesn't particularly do much. Unfortunately, he's able to Trace Regenerator with P2, which is going to let him stay healthy. I just went for the safe Scald, because Scald burns are good. I haven't gotten one yet, but I mean, he's toxic, so eh. Now here, I know he's going to recover, he kind of has to recover. And he will get Regenerated back up to full anyway, but I decided to take advantage of this and go into my Tyranitar, because he's already seen Taunt. He knows I might have speed investment because of that, but in any case, Sand plus Toxic, plus if I taunted him, plus the superpower, that kind of thing, would just be good solid chip damage on this Porygon. Unfortunately, he switches out as I go for the taunt, and he goes into the Klefki. But I think a taunted Klefki is a very good thing for me, because it's like, I don't know what moves he's going to be carrying, but I would expect Foul Play to hit Excadrill. He reveals Play Rough, which I was surprised by. I was expecting like Toxic, maybe a Screen, Spikes, and then Foul Play, which is why I stayed in there and went for Rock Slide, thinking he might want to switch out, and nothing else on his team really wanted to take a Rock Slide. Here he predicts me to go into Excadrill as I just stay in with my Tyranitar and go for Superpower. At this point, I'm thinking Thundurus Sweep. I probably should keep Tyranitar around, but the easiest way for me to get into Latios and start setting up is to leave Klefki in. Things have taken enough damage where Thundurus can just clean up. So I sack off my Tyranitar there, got a really good solid amount of damage on this Klefki, and now I bring in my Latios. Now, I click the 4 moves on the screen, left to right. First move, go for Reflect, in case he tries to go for Play Rough, I can chew those now. Second move, go for Light Screen, because reasons. I want both screens up, and I only need Safeguard for a little while until I can basically beat most of his team and have nothing left that can last the toxic damage, if that makes sense. He goes for Play Rough, that does literally fucking nothing because I'm a bulky Latios behind a Reflect, and he's a Klefki. Then I just go for Safeguard to stop him statusing my Thundurus when I bring it in. I now have triple screens up, and now I click Memento just so he can do literally no damage because Foul Play behind screens at minus attack nature with 0 IVs, etc. Or he goes for Play Rough, which is going to do absolutely nothing. He can't Toxic me. It's set up city time. He goes for Play Rough. I guess not expecting the Memento and trying to just finish me off there. And I bring in my Thundurus. And I click Nasty Plot because I know that nothing on his team, absolutely nothing, can kill me behind these screens. Barring like Specs download P2, but I've already seen these traces, so yeah. I just go for Nasty Plot. And here, I know this thing can't kill me, can't do anything to me really. So I just go for an Agility because now I will outspeed everything on his team. Prankster Agility, so I actually didn't outspeed because he was Scarfed. He goes for Volt Switch. He gets off pathetic chip damage because I'm behind Light Screen. And this is basically the point I said I needed to get to. He brings in Klefki. I still have Safeguard up, so I know he can't Toxic me. I know he can't, like, Foul Play is going to do pretty much nothing. I decided to just go for Thunderbolt because at this point I have enough chip damage on everything except P2 where I can kill it, and Porygon 2 cannot do enough to me behind the screens. So now he basically has to sack off some things to try and Toxic Stall me. He brings in P2 and traces Prankster. And now I'm going to pause it here. In my mind, his best play right now is to go for Toxic. I'm fairly sure he'd already revealed it because he did a Slowbro with it, I think. And he just traced Prankster. Safeguard, I don't know if you can see, it actually fades like this turn. So when I click resume, Safeguard fades, he can Toxic me. My best play on that note is to go for Thunderbolt because if he's physically defensive, which I expect he is to take on Excadrill, he will take, I believe, it was like 60 to 78%. Plus toxic damage, that basically means he can't recover Stormy. If he does try to recover Stormy, eventually I'll high roll him and he'll die, and toxic damage will rack up and he'll die, and I'll still have enough health to take out the rest of his team. So my play right here is just to click Thunderbolt, his play right here is to go for Toxic. In my mind, at least. However, I go for Thunderbolt and get a crit. Did that crit matter? Yes, in that it wouldn't have killed Porygon. Did that crit matter in terms of the outcome of the game? No, because he didn't go for Toxic. His plan was to go for Foul Play, first, which would have done not much damage because unstab behind a screen, minus attack nature, etc. And then go for Toxic as he let P2 go down, hopefully whittling me down enough where something else could take a hit and kill me. Unfortunately, nothing else in his team could take a hit, and with leftovers, the Toxic damage wouldn't have been enough. The Toxic damage plus the foul play damage would not have been enough to kill my Thunderous, because I had lefties and behind screens, etc. If he had Toxic me and tried to recover stall and gotten a couple of low rolls and that kind of thing, he could have brought me down to the point where something else could take me out, but I outspeed everything at Oko anyway. So I'm not going to say I won that to luck because I don't really think that one mattered. You can argue that point, but in the end I don't think that crit made a difference. Schady was hopeful of living a hit with something else, which I'll get to when we get there, but anyway. Down goes P2, and now we're looking really good because the two coverage moves I have kill everything on his team. He brings in the Thunderous. I'm just going to click Psychic. I have no reason not to. I outspeed this thing guaranteed. I kill this thing guaranteed. So down goes Thunderous. At this point I'm looking real good because even if he pulls this back with some miracle, I have enough things left on my team to basically beat his team, I think. I hope at least. He brings in the Manaphy, I go for Thunderbolt, and he's Wakan Berry, but still Oko. Now that was the thing that he'd hoped would live a hit if he did Toxic me with the P2, because if I was timid, then Manaphy was a roll to live that with the Wakan Berry. But because I'm modest, it was a guaranteed kill after rocks, so yeah, that's what I know. Now here, Schady says, I want to show you my set, don't kill me, and I decided to trust him, and he reveals that he's actually Nasty Plot Crobat, which would have been really, really spooky, because I was assuming I could beat Crobat with my two walls. Unfortunately, a Nasty Plot Crobat actually would have beaten them, but in any case, it's not living that hit, and I outspeed, and down goes Crobat, and that's the game. I won. I won the fucking PPL Championship. I didn't really expect that to happen, even towards the end of the season when I knew it was a possibility. I had to play Sly, Sam, and Schady 3 in a row, who, spoilers, at the end of the season were 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So even though I was up high on the table, I had 3 really tough matches to go, I had to play out of my skin to do it, and I didn't play out of my skin. Sly, I played well, I got a 5-0, I'm not denying that. Sam, I got lucky with a crit, and I memed the fuck out of Schady. So yeah, I didn't expect to win, and that happened. And when it first happened, I wasn't really, I would like to say I had a big, like Miguel's reaction after his GBA championship, where I jumped up and you realized I had no pants on, and it ran around the room screaming, but I didn't. I basically went, right, that's over, thank fuck, because it was draining on me so much. I was spending so much time thinking about it because I just really, really wanted to win. I went, cool, I'm gonna go to Sydney and play Quidditch for a fucking day or two and not look at Pokemon or social media or Twitter or anything for like 2 days. And did that. And also then you had exams and stuff and started studying. Basically completely left the PPL for a little while and then came back and went, okay, now I can talk about shit. Which might seem like a bit of a weird reaction, but basically I felt bad for Schady because he really wanted this as well, and obviously there can only be one person winning, but losing to a meme is kind of bad. And also I was so sick of having to team prep because I had put so much effort into the last 2 weeks into trying to get absolutely everything perfect, and basically got lucky in one game. I got lucky in both games to a certain extent. Like, this season, people always say, like, you don't win a championship unless you get lucky, and there's no more true this season than, I don't know how to say it, very, very true for this season. I still not 100% sure if I really deserve this championship, but you know what, I'm gonna fucking take it. Which means I'm going to be playing a Community Shield-On against Monotui, and hopefully this will be uploaded before that battle happens. We decided that's going to happen at, on the 8th of May? 7th of May everyone else's time, 8th of May my time, at 8 PM EST I think we worked out, which is like 8 AM my time. Basically, point is, it's going to be happening tomorrow. I'm hoping to upload this on the 7th in Australia, which is tomorrow 8 AM for Australians. AEST, you guys can work out where the fuck what time that is for anyone else. It's going to be played live on Showdown between me and Monotui, who went undefeated in Division 2, who is also the guy who we beat to get promoted last season. So there's a bit of rivalry there. He wants revenge. I just want to... I'm just going to bring a fun team and see what happens. So that's going to be interesting. Going to be live, and see it all play out, etc. So I hope you come along to that. One last thing I want to get through for the end of this is I will not be in the PPL next season. I'm going to be mentioning this in my wrap-up video, which I will do at some point. But basically, as some of you who follow me on Twitter may know, I'm moving to France for the second semester of this year. And I'm going to be leaving around, like, 2-3 weeks before the end of the proposed PPL season would be. And I don't think that I can commit to playing those games when I'm going to need to be packing, moving, getting visas, catching flights, etc., shifting time zones, dealing with jet lag, all of that stuff. And I basically went, I can't commit to playing all those games. If we started again now, which I don't think anyone wants to do, people want a break, then I could play it, but unfortunately I am not going to be able to fit it in. Which really, I wish I could play next season, I really do, but I need to focus on my studies, I need to focus on moving and settling in properly, and I just won't be able to fit it in. As much as it pains me to say, I'm not going to be in the PPL next season. I definitely want to come back at some point. This group of people are amazing. This is going to get really touchy-feely for a bit, so if you don't care, I'm not going to say anything interesting about the games till the end of the video, so you can just quit. But the people in the PPL are honestly like some of the best people I've ever met, and they're just, so many of them are great. I'm trying to do this without sounding like too generic, but they have a good sense of humor, they're dedicated to getting this shit done, they're creative, we have a common interest in Pokemon, we talk about all sorts of great things. I've had such fantastic calls, like I'll just sit in calls like 4 or 5 hours on a weekend with these guys, and I'm still going to be trying to do that, but obviously not being in the PPL, it's going to be a bit harder, and just, I'm really sad that I have to leave after 2 fantastic seasons. This has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. Nothing's going to change that, even though there's been ups and downs, there's been hacks both ways. There's been a championship given to me by the Hacks gods, but yeah, you won't be seeing me in the PPL next season. I might still be involved behind the scenes getting things done. It's sort of a bit, I'm probably going to be hanging around in the Skype chats at the very least, in the Discord chats, and we'll be helping people if they need it, particularly once this semester ends. I'll have a lot of time before I need to move and things, so I'll be able to record things. I can eventually help out as an analyst, that kind of stuff, but all of that hasn't been decided on yet. All that has been decided on is that I will not be in the PPL next season. So keep your eyes peeled for who the replacement's going to be. I wish everyone in this next season the best of luck. I'm sorry that I don't get to replay some people, like Schady won't get his revenge. I won't get to play Paul again, I won't get to play a lot of the people from Division 2 again, except for, of course, Monotui in the Community Shield on. But yeah, in any case, I think I've rambled on enough. I will be bringing some different content to this channel, just not for the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of assessment, exams, I'm going away, that kind of stuff. But when I'm back, when I have the time, I will be uploading probably 3-4 times a week, just things that I want to, and that's going to be the content from now on. And some of you may have heard, I'm also an analyst in the GBA doing power rankings, so if you want to hear more of my shitty Australian accent, you can head over and check out the GBA channel and see those every week, so yeah. I'm going to stop rambling now. I hope you guys, all of you have been supporting me since the beginning. Thank you so much. My channel has exploded. Like I say exploded, it's only just over 100 subs, but to me, that is huge. From the growth from the end of last season to the end of this season has been enormous. Like, I'm pretty sure my channel's pretty much doubled in size. I've had so much more support and comments. You guys really reacted well to like my hype up video, which took quite a bit of time. People who've been commenting on barrels, talking about how well I've played, that kind of stuff. It means so much to me, and I thank you all so much. And yeah, we came away with a fucking championship. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this entire season. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing me in the PPL. And I will see you in my next video.